Downspout. Wow. 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 Yay. What's up, Tim? I'm a double stream, man. I'm gonna stream to the other page, also to the main page, and this one, so we can try to get some folks up in here quick to see what the fuck I got to say that could possibly piss them off. What's going on, Vermont? Feeling like a pay-per-view event. It sure is gonna be like a pay-per-view event, because I know the whole world is watching them, bro. The whole world is watching them two mother lovers. But quickly, man, before I fuck around and get into that shit, I want to know what the hell was going on with this dude here. You can have it. Because the police, the police was tripping out at first. You got a car yesterday? Ah, congratulations, my brother. What's up with your 702? So what's wrong with this cop here? So this already starts out hella crazy.
Shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh damn. Damn.
Put on your stomach now! Put on your stomach! On your stomach! Get on the ground! Put on your stomach!
My hand.
Put on your stomach!
Okay.
Give me your hand.
Hey, okay.
Put your hands behind your back.
You got good water on that bike. Water.
Get the other one.
What did he do?
Can I say something?
No.
Shit.
Hey, stop!
Oh shit.
Oh man, where that cop went and flew off that bicycle, bro, was funny though. That was funny. So much force and so much didn't know how to ride a bicycle. That kind of looked like when Joe Biden was on a bike, didn't it? Look, Jay, I see JM said the same shit low key. No cap. Damn, you the second person that said they was listening to Viva. Somebody else said that. I think it was who was that? Vermont. Who in the world is Vermont? I mean Viva. Viva Frey. I don't know who that is. Bickers for camel toe. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into Miss Koala. Let's just take a look at some of the shit that she done been said. Well, let's just see if she, if she's okay with, if she supports reparations. Now, I was talking about reparations earlier this morning. So let's see what Miss Koala Harris think about reparations for black folks? She's black, right? She cook her greens in the tub. Excuse me. So she should know she should support reparations for black people, right?
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century.
Now, right there, she already kind of slow on the black card. Did you hear what she said? Let's see if I can get to it.
200 years of slavery.
Oh, right there.
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery.
Now, who starts at 200 years? Who started at 200? Because if I can recall, I think they said it was over 400 years.
We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have
What's up, Donald?
segregation and discrimination is not a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the Lift Act.
Good, Shelly.
Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
Right.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from.
Now, like the lady said, there's no particular policy to give Black folks money, right? You don't like how they got the Asian crime bill. You got the illegals coming here now getting money, getting all this money. But she want to say the reparation for Black folks is going to benefit not just Black folks.
From certain policies. When you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that.
Will be made to benefit Black people is going to be made to benefit everybody. So I guess everybody deserves reparations then, right? We all should just get it. That's what she's saying, right? Or am I not understanding this?
That will benefit Black. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not.
Yeah, you're really clear about that for sure. Right? So, I mean, bro, come on. Like, literally, really though, bro. But let her finish off, because she didn't get
The reality
the point
also
yet.
is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that.
Okay,
Let's really be clear about that.
okay, Koala.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because
Woo.
so I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because so I'm
Run
not
it
going to
again.
sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, so I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because
Right there. I mean, like, I'm not going to do something. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's going to benefit only Black people. No. But she's pandering like a mother lover for the Black vote. But she can't come up here and say that she's going to do something for the Black folks, though. At least not to where it'll only benefit us. Now, I'm not trying to make this about a racial thing. I'm going off about how what she's trying to present. You know what I'm saying? So exactly, Donald. Look at what the LBGTQRS all of them done in 10 years versus the 400 years. 400, not the little 200 she talked about. You got the gay rights, the Asian rights, the immigrants' rights. What do we get? We get BLM to come out every time somebody black gets shot by a cop. Then you get to burn down cities for a couple of months and with no repercussions or nothing at all. That's the kind of shit that black folks get. When somebody gets killed out there in the streets for not listening to the police, then you get to tear up a city or a state for a little bit, and you good. You don't have to worry about going to jail for it. So that's the kind of shit that we're getting when we're dealing with this shit.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
So she's saying it. She ain't gonna do shit that's just gonna benefit us. Period. If it's gonna benefit us, it's gonna benefit everybody, not just black folks. Now, do y'all remember? Now let me go to this one first. When she was cooking with this lady, remember what the lady told her? Cummie Law Harris, that rocks too. That rocks too. Do not come. Well, she's not thinking about that, Michael. I mean, well, maybe she is. Because she said whatever's going to benefit black folks is going to benefit everybody. So maybe, they are included in whatever policy she wants to come out to give them some credit, some props. Pride Month, bro. Pride Month is everywhere, all over the place. What are they proud of? They are proud of to being able to manipulate everybody's mindsets. That's what they're proud of. He can sit there and manipulate some weak-minded black folks to make them want to get on her train because she said she washed greens in a fucking tub that nobody's never done before. Nobody. It definitely all lies. But let's go ahead and tap into when she was with this Asian lady, because we got about 15 minutes before this damn debate start, and I want to get some of this out. Let me get some of this out, bro. Let's see. Where is it? This one? This is the one I'm talking about?
Kamala?
Yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me.
My birth certificate.
Okay.
Kamala? Yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me, I feel like my parents,
Just
my
don't
dad
call
will
me-
watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay. I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, how could you call her by her first name? She's worked so hard. Okay, so
Oh, Koala Harris. Lord, that laugh get on my nerves.
what we're gonna cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know
What's wrong with her?
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Shut up. Don't say any again. Yes, yes, yes. Like, what? I thought she was black. I thought she was black, bro. I thought she was black. Man, what happened? Yes, yes, yes.
We're gonna cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I
Yes.
No,
because
just look how she's looking.
Yes.
you are
Yes, 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 yes. Real talk, Shelly. I'm staying here and keeping my guns. No cap. I'm keeping them. Bro, she spawned out on the Adderall. Oh, shit. Hey, you know what race Koala Harris is supposed to be? Oh, is she? Okay, so listen to this.
so what we're gonna cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
You are
Yes.
idiot.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that.
You hear what she said?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are
Yes.
idiot.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are
Yes.
idiot.
Yes.
Mixed with what?
What?
No, as hell ain't mixed black. Fake black, yes, sir. She literally just, she's cooking an Indian recipe. I ain't never known no black folks that cook Indian food. Right? I don't want that smell in my motherfucking house. Nigga, this ain't no flaming curry restaurant. So, what is really on Koala Harris' mind for her to be running around trying to push this black card? Because we already know what Biden told people before. Remember, like, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black? So is that the same shit that she's pushing? If you don't know you're voting for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Come on, man. She just like BBC. No, she don't. She got a white husband. She got a white husband, so ain't no way in the hell she into BBC. Because I'm pretty sure the Indian folks don't allow that shit. Ain't no way in hell you finna go be with no real snigger. Yeah, I don't know where she fucking got that from, bro, because that's definitely far away from any kind of black folks activity. If any black folks ever wash they fucking greens in the tub, bro, I hope I had never ate any of it. There's no way. I don't give a fuck if you're cooking for a whole fucking family of pilgrims. There's no way somebody cook or wash greens in the tub, bro. You use the fucking sink at least. Instead of using a big bowl with water and shit, you would use your whole fucking sink. I take that over a tub. Because ain't nothing in the sink but dirty dishes. Not dirty asses and, you know, and everything else. Come on, man. Come on. And BW. She like the BIC, the big Indian, you know what I'm saying? She like that one. What's up with you, Long Beach? How you doing, my brother? I'm dead serious, man. Like I said, look at this.
Today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are idiot.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I
Yes.
don't know that everybody
No,
knows
say
that.
it again.
I find that wherever I go and
Anyway,
I see
so-
people,
She cooked with this lady, right? I'm gonna switch it up on y'all. She cooked with this lady, and then she met with this lady again via Zoom. And the lady called her out on how she was acting that day. The lady was all like, yeah, you was being kind of political still, like you was acting like the food was good, and I know it wasn't good. The lady literally said her own food was nasty as fuck. And Koala is still sitting there trying to tell her that it's good. So let's listen to this bullshit. She definitely ain't welcome into my motherfucking house. I don't care if fuck if she come with KFC, Popeyes, churches, goddamn it, anything that sells chicken. I don't care. She can keep that shit in hell. Go wash that shit in the tub with your greens. What's up, Yeshua? How you doing, man? I don't even think the Indians want her, man. How Molly? Shit, she how more than Molly. But watch how this lady call her out on her shit by lying about how good the food allegedly tastes. We got 9 minutes before the debate start.
Plan to vote? Have you voted already?
Oh, I voted already.
You did?
Well, I'm like my dad who goes to the airport 4 hours before his flight takes off. And we're like, Dad.
Now, mind y'all know this is old now. This is old. But she still called her out on her shit after that little yes.
Right.
What are we doing here? Hi, Senator Harris. How are you?
How's your dad doing? How's Uncle?
Oh my gosh, when he sees
Red
this, he's
dot.
going to die that you remembered him. He is, well, you know, the Indian community, like the video we did, you know, and if people who don't know this, I was lucky enough to have Senator Harris come over to my house and cook.
Invite them with.
And my father made a cameo appearance. He claims he was like, oh, no, I can't be in front of camera. And actually, when people say, what is she like? Because they, you know, they assume that you and I are close personal friends. They always say, you know, is she politician-y? And I'm like, not at all. The only thing that I think is even remotely politician-y is that when I made those dosas and you ate it and you said it tasted good, when I knew it tasted bad. Thank you.
Very good.
I didn't think there were.
But the flavor is very nice.
Thank you.
No, it didn't. Especially after we put a little.
Flavor.
Come on, bro.
Tasted bad. Thank you.
Very good.
I didn't. And you said it tasted good when I knew it tasted bad. Thank you.
Very good.
I didn't think there were.
But the flavor is very nice.
Thank you.
No, it didn't. Especially after we put a little lemon.
See, you're doing it again. You're being too nice.
I
Thank you.
so enjoyed it, and it was delicious. I really
You're
did
so
mean
well
it.
organized. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like my mother.
Stop it. Stop it.
I
Thank you.
so enjoyed it, and it was delicious. I really
You're
did
so
mean
well
it.
organized. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like my mother makes, but you know, it was.
Oh, like your mother makes. So your mother knows how to cook an Indian dish to the T. Cause that'll be kind of something like when I be like, yeah, you know, my grandma, man, my grandma could put her foot in some greens, or you know, saying can make this real good. My grandma, you know what I'm saying? So it's more of like, so your mom is what though? Indian? If she was able to cook that shit to a T, what is your mama? Cause Jamaicans damn sure not cooking that shit. Niggas ain't cooking that shit. So, oh, girl, like, yeah, I knew it wasn't good. Exposed. Who's exposed? What the hell is this person talking about? What is it? Kadima? What the fuck? Oh, you're talking about Koala got exposed. Yeah. Hopefully that's what you're talking about. Her mama Dot washed off in the greens. Man, look, she eat curry. She eats all of that shit, man. I don't even know the name of them. Exposed at the end. Yes, she is. You saw the one I was just playing when the girl told her, like, yeah, you're an Indian, right? Yes, 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 yes. Like, bro, let's do that again. Let's bring that up again. Yes, 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 yes.
We're gonna cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. What's up with you, Tara? Oh, Lord. Come on, man. She eats Willie Brown's. I'm asleep. She shit in the streets. Probably in the bed, too. She probably shit in the bed, too, man. But again, folks, how is it that people is really believing the shit that she is saying? Like, I don't understand, like, why is she allowed to push the little race agenda? Jesus Christ, the little race shit that she's doing. And nobody's really, besides, I see Trump and a couple other people, you know, coming out trying to talk shit about, like, hey, nah, man, this heifer ain't black, bro. She's pandering. Do y'all remember when fucking Hillary was pandering? Talk about she had hot sauce in her bag? Why, what's up with the sweet flower? Why is it that the Democrat Party always seems to try to pander towards the black folks in ways to where it's like, in a way, making fun of us? Hot sauce in the bag, washing greens in the tub. What's next? The damn grandma and them love pig feet and chitlins. That's going to be coming up next, man. What's up, Tammy? That's what I feel is coming up next. Pig feet and chitlins. They already done tackled the hot sauce. She got the collard greens. I'm pretty sure somebody else already done used chicken and watermelon. If not, that's definitely coming too. Oh, yeah, you know, I ain't no barbecue or no 4th of July without that watermelon with my food. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, when Hillary called them, what, super predators or some shit like that? And then people want to be blamed, getting on Trump head by what he called the fucking, the Part 5 dudes. You know, now I really don't know too much about that. I guess they said he called them animals or some shit like that. But I think that was before he knew that they were innocent. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on it. But they can sit there and hold that against him. Like, yeah, look, he's a racist. Look what he called the Part 5 guys. Because he said that. We was kings. No, man, we came from Wakanda. Yeah, because I just had Negro surgery, bro. Yeah, that's what I said. I mentioned about the hot sauce. That was what fucking Hillary Clinton had brought up, how she had the goddamn hot sauce in her bag. Or did Koala also say it? Wakanda forever. I swear to God, though, a lot of people, man, a lot of my folks went crazy when that fucking shit came out. I swear to God, my people, man, we fall for some of the dumbest okie dokes ever, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the what was the shit called? The shit with the Chase Bank. Niggas thought that they had a way to come up on money with their own bank accounts. I ain't never seen that many motherfuckers in line when it's a guarantee to try to get a job where you can make legal money every week or every 2 weeks at least. Nobody was lining up like them motherfuckers was lining up at them ATMs for the Chase Bank little glitch. What is wrong with, excuse me, what's wrong with some of my people, bruh? Man. Some people get mad at me for the shit that I be saying, man, but it's all true. I don't sit there and try to talk down on my peoples, man. I wish we can do better. You know what I'm saying? But we cannot do better when we continue doing dumb shit like this. And then I'm pretty sure they're going to try to blame the white man on why their bank accounts is $30,000 in the hole. Nah. I don't think I can stream the debate, bro, because that shit might give me copyright. Last time I was streaming a goddamn high-speed chase, they gave me a strike. I mean, if I do, I'll probably stay on a little bit while it's going. But I'll bring it up every now and then, like not as often, so they won't like try to trip off of it. What's up with you, Carlos? Yeah, man. I'm getting ready for the debate my damn self. I may stay live a little bit at the first parts of it. I may pull it up live here sometimes, but I can't do too much because I don't want to get copyright or fucking strike. Your cousin Bernie? Who the hell is that? I don't know no cousin Bernie. I know cousin Pete. But yeah, man, like Tammy said up there, man, we be so oblivious to shit. We see fast money, we like, fuck it, nigga, I'm gonna jump on it. I'm gonna lose a leg in the process, but it's okay. I'm gonna have all this money at the end. Yeah, man, I might not chance it. I may just stay live and just talk about it while I'm watching it in the background. I'm pretty sure I can do that much at least. Oh man, appreciate that love, Electric. I ain't never seen y'all in none of my lives though, but I appreciate that love though, no cap. But Koala Harris, bro. I just gotta hear this again. I'm sorry. I just gotta hear this again.
My parents,
Just
my
don't
dad
call
will
me-
watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay, I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, "How could you call her by her first name? She's worked so hard." Okay, so what we're gonna cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay,
Just had to hear it again, bro. All right, JM, man. See you later. Shit, putting hot sauce in their cereal, but that'll be some made up black shit right there. That'll be some made up shit. All right. These mother lovers are starting, bro. They are starting, so y'all, you know, tune in to where you got to tune in. What happened to America was that we went to shit, bro. We started fucking around with all these alphabets and giving rights to all kinds of other people that not even from America, sending money to everybody besides America. You know, it's crazy. Oh, here they go. They done took the stage, folks. They done took the stage. Well, I can't show it like that though. Hold on. Man, I don't know why they're allowed to do that. Who the fuck is? I don't know nothing about Burger Planet. What the hell is that? Ah. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself for a minute. Shit, we're talking about buying cribs and car seats.
But there was one who helped raise us. We call her our second mother.
I don't know who the fuck that is, brother. I really don't know Burger Planet. Never heard of them. I don't know what the issue is, but hello.
As many things are 50, 60, 70, 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that,
Nah, I ain't ordered no pizza.
millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that she and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security during this debate, but I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you, on this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook. A bunch of lies, grievances, and name calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a deep.
Are y'all able to hear this shit or no? I want to make sure, like,
that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas. I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do.
That's it for the first flavor.
And create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic. And the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died. Has there been anything like it? We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the world. We got down. Give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only real thing that was bounce back, these were jobs, bounce back, and it bounced back, and it went to their benefit. But who is the one who did it? They know it as well as everybody else.
So, Donald
Man.
Trump is a plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about.
Yeah, that's how it rocks out here, Kathy.
I'm offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
Yep, they all are liars. Of course, they got to lie to get people to vote for them. If any of them ever told the truth, nobody would vote.
Our work, our value as a country, it's going to make people want to be able to go and work, create jobs, and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences. Clock run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Mr. President, I do want to
Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
the Vice President.
He said she using the same 4 lines that Biden used.
Your plan is what she calls is essentially a national sales tax. Your proposal calls for tariffs, as you pointed out, on foreign imports across the board. You recently said that you might double your plan, imposing tariffs up to 20% on goods coming into this country. As you know, many economists say that with tariffs at that level, costs are then passed on to the consumer. Vice President Harris has argued it'll be higher prices on gas, food, clothing, medication, arguing it costs the typical family nearly $4,000 a year. Do you believe Americans can afford higher prices because of tariffs?
They're not going to have higher prices. What's going to happen? Who's going to have higher prices is China and all of the countries that have been ripping us off for years. I was the only president ever. China was paying us hundreds of billions of dollars, and so were other countries. And you know, if she doesn't like them, they should have gone out and they should have immediately cut the tariffs. But those tariffs are there 3.5 years now under their administration. We're going to take in billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. I had no inflation, virtually no inflation.
He's a wanker.
Perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen.
You fucking wanker.
People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country are absolutely.
Oh my days, bro.
They destroyed the economy, and all you have to do is look at a poll. The polls say 80 and 85 and even 90% that the Trump economy was great, that their economy was terrible.
Vice President Harris, I do want to ask for your response. You heard what the president said there, because the Biden administration did keep a number of the Trump tariffs in place. So how do you respond?
Well, let's be clear that the Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit, one of the highest we've ever seen in the history of America. He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his deal with China? What he ended up doing is, under Donald Trump's presidency, he ended up selling American chips to China to help them improve and modernize their military, basically sold us out, when a policy about China should be in making sure the United States of America wins.
So Koala just said that Trump sold us out to China by selling chips to them, which made their military a little stronger.
Focusing on investing in American-based technology so that we win the race on AI, on quantum computing. Focusing on what we need to do to support America's workforce so that we don't end up having on the short end of the stick in terms of workers' rights. But what Donald Trump did, let's talk about this, with COVID, is he actually thanked President Xi for what he did during COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi, exclamation point, when we know that Xi was responsible for lacking and not giving us transparency about the origins of COVID.
President Trump will
First of all, they bought their chips from Taiwan. We hardly make chips anymore because of philosophies like they have and policies like they have. I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a magazine.
Yeah, that was bad though. Our business center.
If she ever got elected, she changed it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21. That's bigger than New York State pouring in. And just look at what they're doing to our country. They're criminals. Many of these people coming in are criminals, and that's bad for our economy too. You know, you mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and she has, destroyed our country with.
So basically, Trump is saying that she's a Marxist.
Policy that you say they have to hate our country.
President Trump, thank you. Lindsay.
I want to turn to the issue of abortion.
He's saying she's a Marxist. I guess her father.
Last year, you said that you were proud to be the most pro-life president in American history. Then last month, you said that your administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights. In your home state of Florida, maybe surprised many with regard to your 6-week abortion ban, because you initially had said that it was too short.
Kathy over here clowning both of our little candidates.
6 weeks, but then
We shouldn't be taking this shit from Kathy talking about our peoples, man.
the 6-week ban. Vice President Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of abortion because you've changed your position so many times. Therefore,
He has changed his position many times about the abortion.
The plan is that, the vote is, they have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
I wish we had better candidates too.
Because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think is a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth is execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me, hence the vote. But what I did is something for 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to
Vote for me.
even the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do.
I mean, that's how I feel about the abortion thing too. I feel like if it's rape, incest, or anything like that, they should be able to get abortion done. But other than that, I am totally against it. My feelings about it, like if you out there busting it open, being all wild and shit like that, and you end up pregnant, hell, you knew what was gonna come from acting wild. Why does the baby have to suffer or not, live because you went out there acting a fool?
It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it.
Wood chipper 2024.
Credit to those 6 justices.
there is no state in this country where it is legal to kill.
I got your $5.
Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact.
Here she goes saying he's lying.
Let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime of violation to their body does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral.
Huh?
And one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government and Donald Trump certainly should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that.
Enough from the clown.
Survivor of incest, being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes the bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
Thank you, Vice President Harris.
Well, there she goes again. It's a lie. I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban because we got what everybody wanted. Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else, and every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states, and the states are voting. And it may take a little time, but for 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart. And they wanted it back in the states. And I did something that nobody thought was possible. The states are now voting. What she says is an absolute lie. And as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
Would you veto a national abortion ban? if you
Well, I won't have to because again,
Just answer the question, Trump. Would you veto it? Or
especially now with the 50-50, essentially 50-50 in both Senate and the
you fucking up, bro?
She can't get the votes. You won't even come close to it. So it's, you know, it reminds me of when they said they're going to get student loans that terminated, and it ended
Now you're going off key.
catastrophe. The student loans, and then her, I think probably her boss, they call him a boss. He spends all his time on the beach. But look, her boss went out and said, "We'll do it again. We'll do it a different way." He went out, got rejected again by the Supreme Court. So all these students got taunted with this whole thing about this whole idea. And how unfair that would have been part of the reason they lost to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their student loans. They didn't get it for free. But they were saying it's the same way that they talked about that they talk about abortion.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because you're running a genital
Right.
bans has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I did discuss it with JD. In all fairness, JD, and I don't mind.
Answer the fucking question.
I really did. Look, we don't have to discuss it because
He's deflecting big time.
couldn't get student loans. They couldn't get student loans.
He deflecting big time.
They taunted young people and a lot of other people.
Okay, but we're not talking about the student loan bullshit that they came with, brother.
She says about going to Congress. So wonderful. Let's go to Congress, do it. But the fact is that for years they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government. And we did something that everybody said couldn't be done. And now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
Vice President Harris, I want to give you your time to respond, but I do want to ask, would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And understand what has been happening under Donald Trump's abortion ban. Couples who pray and dream of
Real talk, bro. Can we just try 4 years with nobody running this shit? So let's see how that works.
who are working 1 or 2 jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to another state to get on a plane sitting next to strangers to go and get the health care she needs. Barely
See, the way she's doing good, but the way she's doing it, she's basically just making it seem as if she feels real sorry for everybody, especially the women that with the pregnancy, the Roe v. Wade thing. She's more like, yeah, they shouldn't have to do this. They shouldn't have to worry about that. They should only be worried about this. We should get this for them. And it's working. It's working. And this nigga Trump ain't answering shit straight up. Another lie.
Which is fertilization. The IVF, I have been a leader. In fact, when they got a very negative decision on IVF from the Alabama courts, I saw the people of Alabama and the legislature 2 days later voted it in. I've been a leader on it. They know that, and everybody else knows it. I have been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other thing, you should ask, would she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month? Okay, would you do that? Why don't you answer the question? Because under Roe v.
Right. See, Trump, if you're not going to answer a question, you can't expect her to answer.
Just look at the governor, former governor of Virginia. The governor of Virginia said we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with the baby.
We're going to turn now to immigration and border security. We know it's an issue that's important to Republicans, Democrats, voters across the board in this country. Vice President Harris, you were tasked by President Biden with getting to the root causes of migration from Central America. We know that illegal border crossings reached a record high in the Biden administration. This past June, President Biden imposed tough new asylum restrictions. We know the numbers since then have dropped significantly. But my question to you tonight is, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500.
I know she ain't talking about the border now.
Help those folks who are working there right now, overtime, trying to do their job, would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there's so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected.
Here she
by
go.
the surge of fentanyl in our country.
Here she go.
That bill would put more resources to allow us to prosecute transnational criminal organizations for trafficking in guns, drugs, and human beings. But you know what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called the folks in Congress, and said, kill the bill. And you know why? Because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And understand, this comes at a time where the people of our country actually need a leader who engages in solutions, who actually addresses the problems at hand. But what we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first. And I pledge to you that I
Yeah,
will.
politics definitely don't belong in the bedroom. Come on now, Kathy. We know that.
Why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so, that would put thousands of additional agents and officers on the board?
First, let me respond to this.
Oh, Lord.
She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's busing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies.
Who care who got the biggest rallies, bro?
People want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. It happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here, you bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
The people on television said my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
But the
television.
people on television said the dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You're talking about extreme. I think one of the reasons why in this election, I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formally worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if you didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a four-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit. His former secretary of defense has said the nation, the republic, would never survive another Trump term. And when we listen to this kind of rhetoric, when the issues that affect the American people are not being addressed, I think the choice is clear in this election.
President Trump will give you a quick minute to respond.
Thank you, because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people, not so graciously. They did bad things or a bad job. I fired them. They never fired one person. They didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan and the Taliban and the 13 people who's were just killed, viciously and violently killed. And I got to know the parents and the family. All those generals.
Ashley for vice
The
president.
most incompetently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him. And you take a guy like Esper, he was no good, I fired him. So he writes a book. Another one writes a book. Because with me, they can write books. With nobody else can they? But they have done such a poor job. And they never fire anybody. Look at the economy. Look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists. They had the same people. That's a good way not to have books written about you. But just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far. In fact, I got more votes than any president, sitting president in history by far.
Let me continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier, so let's get back to your deportation proposal that the vice president has reacted to as well. President Trump, you call this the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. You say you would use the National Guard. You say things get out of control. You have no problem using the U.S. military. You also said you would use local police. How would you deport 11 million undocumented immigrants? I know you believe that number is much higher. Take us through this. What does this look like? Will authorities be going door to door in this country?
It is much higher because of them. They allow criminals, many criminals. They allow common street criminals, common drug dealers to come into a country, and they're now in the United States and told by their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you. You know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down. You know why? Because they've taken the criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people live in all over the world. Crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening.
Ghetto Speaker of the House.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
Excuse me, they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud. Just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President.
I think this is so rich coming from someone who has been prosecuted.
Wow.
for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. And let's be clear, where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law and respect for law enforcement. The former vice president funding federal law enforcement 45,000 agents, get this, on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk about what is important in this race. It is important that we move forward, that we turn the page on this same old tired rhetoric and address the needs of the American people, address what we need to do about the housing shortage, which I have a plan for, address what we must do to support our small businesses, address bringing down the price of groceries. Frankly,
Anybody's better than these mother lovers. Trust me.
same old tired playbook.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
Excuse me, every one of those cases was started by them against their political opponent. And I'm winning most of them, and I will win the rest on appeal. And you saw that with the decision that came down just recently from the Supreme Court. I'm winning most of them. But those are cases, it's called weaponization. Never happened in this country. They weaponized the Justice Department. Every one of those cases was involved with the DOJ, from Atlanta and Fani Willis to the Attorney General of New York and the DA of New York. Every one of those cases.
No, hell no, Jimmy. I ain't fucking with neither one of them.
He's a criminal. They're the ones that made them go after me. By the way, Joe Biden was found essentially guilty on the documents case. And what happened in my documents case? They said, well, that's the toughest of them all. A complete and total victory. 2 months ago, it was thrown out. It's weaponization, and they used it, and it's never happened in this country. They used it to try and win an election. They're fake cases.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what happened to that though. Like when Biden got found guilty for having documents and shit like that, like they just stopped talking about that.
The United States Supreme Court recently ruled in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop it. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop it. It's up to the American people
Vice
to
President
stop
Harris,
it.
thank you. Lindsay.
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president,
Trump. Yeah, he go cut.
She's the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized.
There you go, cutting people off.
A bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy. With the fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay.
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president, you said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government buyback programs for assault weapons. Now your campaign says you don't. You supported decriminalizing border crossings. Now you're taking a harder line. I know you say that your values have not changed. So then why have so many of your policy positions changed?
So my values have not changed, and I'm going to discuss every one of it, at least every point that you've made. Talk about fracking because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States, and in fact, I was the time-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act.
But I thought she said she wanted to ban fracking.
My position is that we have got to invest in diverse sources of energy so we reduce our reliance on foreign oil. We have had the increase in
and built it into
My bad.
many billions of dollars.
Appreciate that, Kevin.
When people see it, they are even surprised. So we don't have to talk about that. Frankie, she's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police, she's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it.
I'm getting confused with what they talking about, bro.
At least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now.
Uh-oh.
Please.
Uh-oh.
Does that sound familiar?
Uh-oh.
She went out.
They fight.
She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis. She went out and raised money to get them out of jail.
They got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. When they took over, they got rid of it, started getting rid of it, and the prices were going up the roof. They immediately let these guys go to where they were. I would have been 5 times, 4 times, 5 times higher because you're talking about 3.5 years ago.
Just to finish one thing, so important in my opinion. So I got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. When they took over, they got rid of it, started getting rid of it, and the prices were going up the roof. They immediately let these guys go to where they were. I would have been fine.
I thought it was gonna be a little bit more chaotic, Vermont.
Because you're talking about 3.5 years ago. They got it to where I was because they had no choice, because the prices of energy were quadrupling and doubling. You saw what happened to gasoline. So they said, let's go back to Trump. But if she won the election, the day after that election, they'll go back to destroying our country, and oil will be dead, fossil fuel will be dead. We'll go back to windmills, and we'll go to solar. You can come out.
Coming under attack. Aides in the West Wing say you watched it unfold on television off the Oval Office. You did send out tweets, but it was more than 2 hours before you sent out that video message.
Wow, I mean, it's working, bro. The shit just keep dropping for some goddamn reason.
Isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing
Lord, she bringing a
anti-Semitic hate.
Charlottesville.
And what did the president then at the time? There were fine people on each side. Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the president said, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say we don't have to go back. Let's not go back. We're not going back. It's time to turn the page. And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear.
Wow.
And the outcome of this election. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart the course for the future. Not go backwards to the past.
She's been mean bugging him all night, bro.
Why do we allow these meetings to come through? And I'll tell you what we would do. And I'd be very proud to do it. I would say we would go to the debate right now. I'd like to see the new down to Washington, D.C. Because we're way still out
Yeah, Trump over there just looking for jokes now.
because they have the right to do it. They have the right to the president of the United States. We went about the 4 o'clock meeting, and they're going to say, come on, I want that video to put aside until if he's not still, and the door is closed, what you do is say to the border rules, if the border is closed, those people are killing many people, unlike they said. So we talked to the rich people, and I just want to focus on the next people because it really brings us this is the focus truth that we're living. This president, 3.5 years after we lost the 2020 election, repeatedly falsely claimed that we won. Many times say we won in the landslide. In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, because that we lost by a whisker, but we both didn't vote for the debate that we put up a little bit forward. Are you now acknowledging that we lost? We said, oh, we lost by a whisker. And we said sarcastically, look, what you have to do is
Here we go.
and they shouldn't send you back to the legislature. I got almost 75 votes, the most votes,
which is what I got in 2016. You can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls, and we have to have it. We have to have borders, and we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote.
Looking like your daddy.
They're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video.
We usually point out there's verification, you know this, you would have 60 cases, many studies, many. So they said we didn't have standing. That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Where a person in the election doesn't have standing, the president of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and we love that, we do a special on it. I'll show you. I'll show you Wisconsin.
I'm really overhearing about the election fraud type shit. Like, I don't know why they still talk about that. It's over. It's done with. Biden and killed us for the last fucking 4 years. Now we got another one finna come in.
Be clear about that. And clearly, he is having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to have a
I'm not gonna cap, man. I seen a couple of other big time channels and shit. They're actually showing the debate in the background while they're
upend the will of the voters in a
streaming.
free and
So
fair
I don't know
election.
if it's against the
And I'm gonna
rules
tell
on
you
TikTok,
that
YouTube or
I
not.
have traveled
But
the
I know when
world
I
as
was doing
vice
the
president of
hostage
the
case,
United
they gave me a
States.
strike.
And world leaders are laughing at Donald
I'm
Trump.
going back and forth with bringing
I
it
have
up.
talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate,
So look how Officer Tatum doing his. See Kwame doing camera off. Camera's off. See Kwame doing his like this. How he's showing the debate in the background. Hold up. He's showing it like that. And then Tatum, where he goes? Oh, somebody else right here. He's showing it. Oh, he's showing it on the side like that. See? But this nigga got 7,000 people in there with this shit. I'm scared to do it, bro. Like I feel like if I do it, they gonna fuck around and try to take me down. Why ain't got his up there? Oh yeah, man. See, he got his big and just got himself out there. I'm scared, bro. Shit. I get that, but they probably know how to pay somebody at YouTube to take the shit down. I can't.
Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president, but when this weak, pathetic man that you saw at a debate just a few months ago, that if he weren't in that debate, he'd be running instead of her. She got no votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
your time
I
is up.
think we're
Thank
going to
you.
do very well.
We've got a lot more to get to.
Turning now
Yes.
to the Israel-Hamas war and the hostages who are still being held, Americans among them. Vice President Harris, in December, you said, quote, Israel has a right to defend itself, but you added, quote, it matters how, saying international humanitarian law must be respected. Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians. You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated 40,000 Palestinians are dead. Nearly 100 hostages remain. Just last week, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there's not a
Y'all hella regulated out there on y'all guns,
has not
Kathy.
been able to break through the stalemate. How would you do it?
well, let's understand how we got here. On October 7th, Hamas, a terrorist organization, slaughtered.
Can y'all still hear them talking in the background?
Israel as a because it is also two-state solution. And in that solution, there is security for the Israeli people of Israel and the people of the Palestinians.
Appreciate that, Kevin.
I will always give Israel the ability to defend
You tell me stupid.
particular and any threat that Iran is not posed to Israel. But we must have a two-state solution where we can rebuild Gaza, where the Palestinians have security, self-determination, and the dignity of Israel for Israel. President Trump, how would you negotiate with the and also us in the hostages after that?
I mean, winter fresh gum. I don't think you knowing Putin very well should mean anything, brother.
She hates Israel. At the same time, in her own way, she hates the population because the whole price is being blown up. Average, real people, Israel to be got. It would have never happened. The land was broke under Donald Trump. All around is $300 billion because they took all the sanctions that I Iran was no money for Hamas or Hezbollah or any of the 28 different stages of terror. And they are stages of terror, harmful terror. All the money. It's a big story. And you see it. No money. They will rule after a legislation. Now, what they're doing is they're spreading that money around. Look at what's happening. And yet, what's going on in the Middle East, this would have never happened. I look at that.
It's time for the TAC for me. I'm surprised Ghetto Hippie ain't said nothing.
Israeli people. He knows that he's trying to again divide and distract from the reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he
Well, we almost had Bernie Sanders one year.
to Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on
Vice
national
President
security,
Harris.
including the importance of upholding and respecting.
Man, I don't know who the fuck Burger Planet is, man. All I heard
Thank
was somebody came in here and said Burger
And
Planet
she's the one
recommended them to
that caused it.
and was talking
That's
shit about
weak
me because
on
he was
national
restraining the
security by
goddamn
allowing
vibe.
every
So
nation
I don't know who the
last
fuck Burger
month
Planet is.
for the
Sorry.
year, 168 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week, said, I hope she wins. And I think he meant it because what he's gotten away with is absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have happened with me. The leaders of other countries think that they're weak and incompetent, and they are. They're grossly incompetent. And I just ask one question. Why does Biden go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approve the single biggest
You said they distracted me. My facial expressions. I forgot they was supposed to do 2 commercials between on this damn debate. Is this the first commercial? It took a whole hour and some change. See right there, I think when they were getting ready to go to commercial, they should have been all this shit too. You gonna go to jail before you can get elected president. Shut up! You gonna be sucking on everybody while you up in the goddamn president. They should have been out there arguing and talking like that when they on commercial break, bro. That's what I think. So far, since these motherfuckers is on a commercial break, man, what is y'all thinking so far? What is y'all thinking? Straight bullshit, a friendly fade with talking shit to each other on stage? Because they not really taking shots at each other that much. Like him and Biden when they was up there talking or debating. Them, they just bringing up bullshit. Huh? Well, it seems like if they was to ask Trump anything, he ain't gonna straight up answer this shit. He gonna make it a long ass answer and then bring up a whole bunch of other shit that didn't have nothing to do with the original answer. From what's been going on, from what I've been seeing, he is not sticking to the script. He's not fucking answering questions straight up. But so far to me, man, I think Koala, she hold her own a little bit, but I still don't like her. Because we cannot forget that she did say this, right? We can't forget this. I'm not gonna let y'all forget it. Right? You remember she said this?
Okay. Is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that.
You remember
I
that, right?
find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the
Telling you.
supermarket, I don't know,
And Koala
is an
said this.
Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I don't know
Okay.
Listen.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and
Yes, yes, yes.
You didn't even let her ask the fucking question before she answered.
Hey, on me though, bro. Like she said, yeah, like 10 times. Almost damn near before old girl can finish the goddamn question, right?
okay, is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that
Man, Indian Koala Harris, bro. Come on, bro. She's like, whatever you wanted to be. Do you wash your greens in the toilet? Yes, 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 yes. I know. If she washing the motherfuckers in the tub, she ain't got no problem washing them in the toilet. I'm just saying, she can't. How could you discriminate that? I would never wash my greens in the toilet. I mean, they say if you have an earthquake and your water starts running, you can drink the water out the back of your toilet. So why wouldn't she want to wash the greens there? But she would sit there and say some shit that she wash her shit in the tub where everybody wash their dirty, funky asses at. Come on, man. You feel me, Tammy? Let's see if I can pull this other clip back up before they start talking bullshit again. Let's see. I forgot where it was at. Oh, here we go. Before they start getting back up here bumping gums.
The reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit Black people. No.
No. So they back.
Mr. President, it has been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty, their democracy, that it's in America's best interest.
Montel Williams. Sheesh.
He may be emboldened even further into other countries. You have said
You stupid, Jimmy. So you're an idiot, right? Yes, yes, yes.
Lives that are being uselessly, people being killed by the millions. It's the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting, which are fake numbers. Look, we're in for 250 billion or more because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are. They're in for $150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask
Just a little
Europe,
bit.
like I did with NATO. They paid billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars when I said, either you pay up or we're not going to protect you anymore. So that's maybe one of the reasons they don't like me as much as they like weak people. But you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 275 billion. They're into 100 to 150. They should be forced to equalize. With that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president, okay? They respect me. They don't respect Biden. How would you respect him? Why? For what reason? He hasn't even made a phone call in 2 years to Putin, hasn't spoken to anybody. They don't even try and get it. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do,
I don't know where he be coming up with these
I'll speak
numbers.
to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened. And in fact, when I saw Putin after I left, unfortunately left because our country has gone to hell. But after I left, when I saw him building up soldiers, he did it after I left. I said, oh, he must be negotiating. It must be a good, strong point of negotiation. Well, it wasn't, because Biden had no idea how to talk to him. He had no idea how to stop it. And now you have millions of people dead, and it's only getting worse, and it could lead to World War III. Don't kid yourself, David. We're playing with World War III, and we have a president that we don't even know if he's. Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they
here,
threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is
This
he our
nigga's
president?
stupid.
But we
They
have a
threw him out of the
president
campaign
that
like
doesn't
he's a
know he's
dog.
alive.
your time is up. Just to clarify the question,
He
do you
clowning
believe
now,
it's in
bro.
the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war? Yes or no?
I think it's the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
All right.
Negotiate a deal, because we have to stop all of these human lives from being
She making some
destroyed.
I want to
crazy
take this to
faces.
Vice President Harris. I want to get your thoughts on support for Ukraine in this moment, but also as Commander-in-Chief, if elected, how would you deal with Vladimir Putin, and would it be any different from what we're seeing from President Biden?
Look at her. Yeah. You think so, Liz?
In its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done to preserve the ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence. Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you
Right,
would
we
give
gave
up
Ukraine
for the
weapons,
sake of
fucking
favor
millions and
and what
billions,
you think is a
quadrillions of money.
friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Vice President Harris, thank you. We've heard from both of you on Ukraine
Eat you
tonight.
for lunch.
Afghanistan came up in the last
Damn.
hour. I wanted her to respond to something you said earlier, and please, I'll give you a minute here.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow. Quiet, please. He would have been sitting in Moscow, much happier than he is right now. But eventually, he's got a thing that other people don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. They don't ever talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody ever thinks about that. And eventually, maybe he'll use them, and maybe
I
he
feel you.
hasn't been that threatening. But he does have that, something we don't even like to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about it. But just so you understand, they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war because everything they said was weak and stupid. They said the wrong things. That war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something. She is a horrible negotiator. They sent her in to negotiate. As soon as they left, Putin did the invasion.
President Trump, thank you. You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fella.
So I guess
And
she's
that is
saying he's
not-
lying.
When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I've now met with him over 5 times. The reality is it has been about standing as America always should, as a leader upholding international rules and norms, as a leader who shows strength, understanding that the alliances we have around the world are dependent on our ability to look out for our friends and not
Look at his
favor
face.
our enemies because you adore strongmen instead of caring about democracy. And that is very much what is at stake here. The President of the United States is commander in chief. And the American people have a right to rely on a president who understands the significance of America's role and responsibility in terms of ensuring that there is stability and ensuring we stand up for our principles and not sell them for the benefit of personal flattery.
We've talked about Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. I do want to talk about Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of this debate. I want to move on to Afghanistan.
Stoltenberg said Trump did the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He got these countries, the 28 countries at the time, to pay up. He said, I've never seen, he's the head of NATO. He said, I've never seen. For years, we were paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on trade and on NATO. I got them to pay up by saying one of the statements you made before, if you don't pay, we're not going to protect you.
President
Otherwise,
Trump.
we would have never gotten it. He said it was one of the most incredible jobs that he's ever seen done.
Thank you. I want to turn to Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of the debate, and we witnessed a poignant moment today on Capitol Hill, honoring the soldiers who died in the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. I do want to ask the Vice President, do you believe you bear any responsibility in the way that withdrawal played out?
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result,
Would you think you have
America's
responsibility?
taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. But let's understand how we got to where we are. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated one of the weakest deals you can imagine. He calls himself a deal maker. Even his national security advisor said it was a weak, terrible deal. And here's how it went
Yeah, that's
down.
probably like a good
He bypassed
20
the
yards
Afghan
apart,
government.
maybe
He
15 yards.
negotiated directly with a terrorist organization called the Taliban. The negotiation involved the Taliban getting
I gotta get me an
5,000
office chair,
terrorists,
bro.
Taliban terrorists released. And get this, no, get this. And the president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David, a place of storied significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American diplomacy, where we invite and receive respected world leaders. And this former president, as president, invited them to
I wonder what she
Camp
was gonna
David
call it.
because he does not again appreciate the role and responsibility of the president of the United States to be commander in chief with a level of respect. And this gets back to the point of how he has consistently disparaged and demeaned members of our military, fallen soldiers, and the work that we must do to uphold the strength and the respect of the United States of America around the world.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, your response to her saying that you began the negotiations
thank
with the
you.
Taliban.
So if you take a look at that period of time, the Taliban was killing our soldiers, a lot of them, with snipers. And I got involved with the Taliban because the Taliban was doing the killing. That's the fighting force within Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because, you know, they deal with the wrong people all the time.
Yeah, we don't
I
get
got
we
involved.
don't get no respect from
And
nobody.
Abdul
Goddamn
is the head
news,
of the
the
Taliban.
news
He
in
is still the
Australia,
head
they
of the
be talking shit
Taliban.
about us.
And I told Abdul,
making
don't do
fun
it
of Biden
anymore.
and
You
shit.
do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul. And for 18 months, we had nobody killed. We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo. It was a very good agreement. The reason it was good, it was we were getting out. We would have been out faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have left many Americans behind, and we wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it. The agreement said you have to do this, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. The agreement was terminated by us because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
I want to move on.
And these people did the worst withdrawal, and in my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And by the way, that's why Russia attacked Ukraine, because they saw how incompetent she and her boss are.
President Trump, thank you. I want to move on now to race and politics in this country.
Who's
Mr.
actually
President
looking at like
recently
one of
said,
those
Vice
and
President Harris, quote,
do
I didn't know
something.
she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
I don't
wanna
like
ask a
that
bigger
dude that's
picture
fucking
question
reading
here
the
tonight.
questions and shit, man.
Why do you believe it's
I don't like him.
appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care.
What do you believe
I don't
is
care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm
I don't
asking.
know. I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
Vice President Harris, your thoughts on this?
Yes.
I think it's, I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people.
I knew she was gonna
You
bring
know,
up
I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us. And
That's
especially
not trying to
about race.
divide
And
by
let's
saying what you
remember
are.
how Donald Trump started. He was a land, he owned buildings, and he was investigated because he refused to rent property to Black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 young Black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5. Took out a full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first Black president of the United States. And I think the American people want better than that, want better than this, want someone who understands, as I do, I travel our country. We see in each
Right.
other
We're
a
talking about
friend. We
race.
see in each other a neighbor. We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other. I meet with people all the time.
But are you black?
Can
We
we
just wanna
please
know.
just have discourse about how we're going to invest in the aspirations and the ambitions and the dreams of the American people? Knowing that regardless of people's color or the language their grandmother speaks, we all have the same dreams and aspirations and want a president who invests in those, not in hate and division.
Facts, ghetto.
Thank you. Lindsay?
President Trump, this is now your third time.
This is the most divisive presidency in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. They're destroying our country, and they come up with things like what she just said. Going back many, many years, when a lot of people, including Mayor Bloomberg, agreed with me on the Central Park Five, they admitted, they said, they pled guilty. And I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately. And if they pled guilty, then they pled, we're not guilty. But this is a person that has to stretch back years, 40, 50 years ago, because there's nothing now. I built one of the greatest economies in the history of the world, and I'm going to build it again.
Yeah, who gonna give us
Bigger,
some
better,
money
and
for the black
stronger.
community?
But they're destroying our economy. They have
What
no
we
idea
gonna do
what a
about
good
that?
economy is.
Oh, the immigrants
Their
is
oil
getting money.
policies, every single
They over
policy.
here getting
And
houses
remember
and shit.
this.
Well, who gonna
She
give
is
us some of
Biden.
that?
You know, she's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman. She says she is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
Thank you. Your time is up,
I
Lindsay.
want to respond to that, though. I want to just respond briefly. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country, one who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering a help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight, as opposed to a conversation that is
So
constantly
now you want to talk about the
belittling
conversation that the
and
people
name
want.
calling.
After y'all have been up here talking for
Turn
over
the
an hour.
page
Vice President
and move
Harris,
forward.
thank you. Let's turn to policy.
President
Let's turn
Trump,
back
we
to
have
policy.
to move on. President Trump,
Let's turn to policy, please.
To defund the police. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
She
we
has
do
a
have to
plan
move
to
on to
not
other
allow
issues.
fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
Okay.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
what her
President.
plan is until just recently.
I just need
Lindsay,
to
go ahead.
respond
President
because
Trump,
no, the
President
former
Trump.
president has said
No, I'm
something
sorry.
twice that I need to
No,
respond to.
I'm sorry.
I
We're
just
gonna
need to
move on,
respond
Vice
one
President
time
Harris.
to what he has
President
said
Trump, this
multiple
is
times.
now
Oh,
your
Lord.
third time
You're out of
running for
control.
president. You have long vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. You have failed to accomplish that. You now say you're going to keep Obamacare, quote, unless we can do something much better. Last month, you said, quote, we're working on it. So tonight, 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care, always was. It's not very good today. And what I said, that if we come up with something, and we are working on things, we're going to do it and we're going to replace it. But Remember this. I inherited Obamacare because Democrats wouldn't change it. They wouldn't vote for it. They were unanimous. They wouldn't vote to change it. If they would have done that, we would have had a much better plan than Obamacare. But the Democrats came up. They wouldn't vote for it. I had a choice to make when I was president. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be? Never going to be great. Or do I let it rot? And I felt I had an obligation, even though politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go away. I decided, and I told my people, the top people, and they're very good people. I have a lot of good people in that administration. We read about the bad ones. We had some real bad ones too, and so do they. They have really bad ones. The difference is they don't get rid of them. But let me just explain. I had a choice to make. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, or do I let it rot? And I saved it. I did the right thing. But it's still never going to be great, and it's too expensive for people. And what we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options we have to do that. And you'll be hearing about it in the not too distant future.
Vice President Harris, in 2017, you supported Bernie Sanders' proposal to do away with private insurance and create a government-run healthcare system. 2 years later, you proposed a plan that included a private insurance option. What is your plan today?
Well, first of all, I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private healthcare options. But what we need to do is maintain and grow the Affordable Care Act. But I'll get to that, Lindsay. I just need to respond to a previous point that the former president has made. I've made very clear my position on fracking. And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. As it relates to the Affordable Care Act, understand, just look at the history to know where people stand. When Donald Trump was president, 60 times he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. 60 times. I was a senator at the time when I will never forget the early morning hours when it was up for a vote in the United States Senate. And the late, great John McCain, who you have disparaged as being, you don't like him, you said at the time, because he got caught. He was an American hero. The late, great John McCain, I will never forget that night, walked onto the Senate floor and said, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't get rid of the Affordable Care Act. You have no plan. And what the Affordable Care Act has done is eliminate the ability of insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions. I don't have to tell the people watching tonight, you remember what that was like? Remember when an insurance company could deny?
Yeah, he died. He's been dead, ain't he?
Asthma, if someone was a breast cancer survivor, if a grandparent had diabetes. And thankfully, as I've been vice president and we over the last 4 years have strengthened the Affordable Care Act, we have allowed for the first time Medicare to negotiate drug prices on behalf of you, the American people. Donald Trump said he was going to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. He never did. We did. And now we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Since I've been vice president, we have capped the cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000 a year. And when I am president, we will do that for all people, understanding that the value I bring to this is that access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. And the plan has to be to strengthen the Affordable Care Act, not get rid of it.
Vice President Harris,
in terms of where Donald Trump stands on that.
I want to move to an issue that's important for a lot of...
You made a mistake. Number one, John McCain fought Obamacare for 10 years. But it wasn't only him. It were all of the Democrats that kept it going. And you know what? We can do much better than Obamacare, much less money. But she won't improve private insurance for people, private medical insurance. That's another thing she doesn't want to get. People are paying privately for insurance that have worked hard and made money, and they want to have private. She wants everybody to be on government insurance where you wait 6 months for an operation that you need immediately.
President Trump, thank you. We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change. President Trump, with regard to the environment, you say that we have to have clean air and clean water. Vice President Harris, you call climate change an existential threat. The question to you both tonight is, what would you do to fight climate change? And Vice President Harris, we'll start with you. 1 minute for you each.
Well, the former president had said that climate change is a hoax. And what we know is that it is very real. You ask anyone who lives in a state who has experienced these extreme weather occurrences, who now is either being denied home insurance or it's being jacked up.
Right.
You ask anybody who has been the victim of what that means in terms of losing their home, having nowhere to go. We know that we can actually deal with this issue. The young people of America care deeply about this issue. And I am proud that as vice president over the last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion in a clean energy economy, while we have also increased domestic gas production to historic levels. We have created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs while I have been vice president. We have invested in clean energy to the point that we are opening up factories around the world. Donald Trump said he was going to create manufacturing jobs. He lost manufacturing jobs. And I'm also proud to have the endorsement of the United Auto Workers and Sean Fain, who also know that part of building a clean energy economy includes investing in American-made products, American automobiles. It includes growing what we can do around American manufacturing and opening up auto plants, not closing them like happened under Donald Trump.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
That didn't happen under Donald Trump. Let me just tell you, they lost 10,000 manufacturing jobs this last month. It's going, they're all leaving. They're building big auto plants in Mexico, in many cases owned by China. They're building these massive plants, and they think they're going to sell their cars into the United States because of these people. What they have given to China is unbelievable. But we're not going to let that. We'll put tariffs on those cars so they can't come into our country, because they will kill the United Auto Workers and any auto worker, whether it's in Detroit or South Carolina or any other place. What they've done to business and manufacturing in this country is horrible. We have nothing because they refuse. You know, Biden doesn't go after people because supposedly China paid him millions of dollars. He's afraid to do it.
Crime is up
When
all
he and
over
his
the
son,
place.
They get
People
all this
breaking in
money from
stores,
Ukraine.
stealing shit in
They get all this
stores,
money from all of these different
stealing
countries. And
cars.
then you wonder, why is he so loyal to this one, that one, Ukraine, China? Why is he? Why did he get
What's up with you, Chevy?
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife? Why did she pay him $3.5 million? This is a crooked administration, and they're selling our country down the tubes.
President Trump, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with closing statements from both of our candidates. An historic night, this ABC News presidential debate from Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
Oh, wow. Got closing statements, huh? It's over with. Just I'll say I'll be right back because this shit ain't on yet. Can y'all still hear me while this shit is up? I don't think no burgers is ever going back under $1, bro. We can forget about that shit. No more motherfucking under or $1 and under burgers. I remember one time they had motherfucking cheeseburgers for 39 cents and the regular hamburger was 29. Boy, I remember those days. Man, just imagine like what it would be like. I mean, I know like the McDonald's burgers and shit was killing us and shit because it's like fake ass meat, but the prices though. The taxes, yeah, the taxes on stuff. Like Popeyes, like you get a little wing meal, that shit like $6.99 after motherfucking taxes. It'd be like goddamn like $11, bruh. Like what in the hell? What am I paying for? Am I paying for the goddamn box too? Paying for y'all to go out there and kill the goddamn chicken? And I ain't even gonna cap, man. Some of the chicken and shit be hella big. And it's like, I know this motherfucker, y'all made him grow up too fast. Cause I don't know no goddamn chicken legs that's that fucking big and buff. I mean, Popeyes, it depends. Not all Popeyes know how to cook their shit right. I really only like the Popeyes down south, man. The down south Popeyes, them motherfuckers, boy, you can smell them niggas a mile away. And that shit always tastes perfect. Overpriced yard burger, I'm asleep. I'm asleep. All right, so they back.
Welcome back tonight. The time has come for closing statements.
With you.
So I think you've heard tonight two very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past, and an attempt to take us backward. But we're not going back. And I do believe that the American people know we all have so much more in common than what separates us, and we can chart a new way forward. And a vision of that includes having a plan, understanding the aspirations, the dreams, the hopes, the ambition of the American people, which is why I intend to create an opportunity economy, investing in small businesses, in new families, in what we can do around protecting seniors, what we can do that is about giving hardworking folks a break and bringing down the cost of living. I believe in what we can do together that is about sustaining America's standing in the world and ensuring that we have the respect that we so rightly deserve, including respecting our military and ensuring we have the most lethal fighting force in the world. I will be a president that will protect our fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. I'll tell you, I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a DA, I was an attorney general, a United States senator, and now vice president. I've only had one client, the people. And I'll tell you, as a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked
Looked
them,
at them, saw that they
"Are
were
you
black,
okay?"
and then you just finished
And
their
that's
ass
the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on what we can do over the next 10 and 20 years to build back up our country by investing right now in you, the American people.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump?
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's
Give
going to do
your
all these
fucking-
wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
I thought this was
should
supposed to be
leave
closing
right now,
statement.
go down to that beautiful White House,
was
go to
trying
the
to-
Capitol,
she's saying about
get
her-
everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like
Yeah,
we're not gonna
Manny might
frack,
be
we're
on
not
my
gonna
other
take
channel.
fossil
I'm
fuel,
streaming
we're not
from
going to
both
do
channels.
things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year, they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not
Real
ready
talk,
for it.
Sammy.
We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question. Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All
Why
over the
isn't he
world they're
giving his
laughed. I know the
closing
leaders
statement?
very well. They're coming to see me. They call me. We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third world war, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
President Trump, thank you. And that is our ABC News presidential debate from here in Philadelphia at the National Constitution Center. I'm Lindsay Davis.
And I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching here in the U.S. and all over the world, and from all of us here at ABC News. Good night.
All right, and back out live there to Philadelphia. This is Andrew.
Bruh.
Just watch the ABC News presidential debate there. More than 90 minutes between Vice President Harris and
This nigga never gave his closing statement. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. He basically just attacked her on her closing statement instead of giving his. This shit was crazy, bro. I don't know what to really put into that, but it's real.
Like some of you have already voted here. We got did Trump win Harris win the debate, or was there no clear winner? Scan that QR
What are you doing, girl?
right hand of your screen.
Come here.
Go to liveoutfox.com/connect. We'll be telling you how many of you participated in this poll. It looks like Trump overwhelmingly, according to you, chimed in on this question.
Look at Israel, y'all. Israel, look at the camera. Don't grab my microphone.
Bringing out this question to you time and time again. And we're going to be
Say hi.
posting analysis, post-debate coverage, and like I said.
Don't you grab onto my table.
Let's get right to it. Let's bring in the conversation right now. Our friends there, 24/7, Pablo Bianco, and notice Conference Sports.
Man, but this debate shit was trash. I'm sorry. It was trash. My cat had more to say than both of them. Yeah, she was like, you had me sitting up here listening to these crazy motherfuckers talking. Neither one of these motherfuckers made any sense. Bruh. But the quicksand, that nigga just didn't, he didn't answer nothing.
Sources about this, we're discussing it at 24/7 chat earlier. When he had this answer, which was demonstrably false, but alleging that people are eating
Facts, man. It was a dumpster fire. It was trash, whole lot. Yeah, definitely a lot of face memes coming. A lot of like, oh, some little jokies. Trump did come up with a lot of jokes and shit that he was saying, but that just mean you really didn't have nothing to come back with, man. And I'm a little bit disappointed. But I'm dying to see what a lot of the conservatives and Republican folks is gonna be saying on TikTok, and really defending the shit that he was up here doing. I mean, yeah, he was having. I mean, not really. I mean, he didn't really. I don't know if I can call it him defending himself, man. He wasn't really answering no questions. Every time they asked him a question, he was going on a whole other tantrum type shit. And it's like, just answer the question and then start saying this other shit, bro. Like you're literally just tap dancing around shit. And I did not like that. You know, some of the stuff he said was funny, you know, but it's not enough to really win some people over. Watch, I'm telling you, tomorrow it's gonna be a lot of people talking shit about like, damn man, how come Trump didn't answer the question? Trump was like avoiding answering questions. You know, so like when it came up about the abortion shit, you know what I'm saying? He didn't really fully answer that on if he would veto it, if it was to come up about, you know, them having to do it at a certain by rape or incest type shit. He didn't even answer that question. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of repeated shit, bro. A lot of blame gaming, you know, but that is what it is, folks. So anyways, I am tired than a motherfucker, bro. And it's time for me to get off here and get to my real life. Yeah, I still ain't voting for her either, man. All honestly, I might not vote for no motherfucking body. I might find an independent motherfucker on there somewhere. Like, these nuts. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think, don't they got one more debate or some shit like that? So, all right, it's Chevy. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. No, I ain't got no homework, man. Thank God. I actually did some yesterday, and it wasn't even due till the 15th. So I'm good for the next, I'll say 4 days before they release the next assignments and the quiz for this one. So I'm good for 4 days, man. I like to stay on top of my shit so I can be able to, you know, do my lives and, you know, do all this other shit that I be having to do. So I'm a good multitasker, man. That's what some people be saying, like, damn, bro, how the fuck you stay sane enough? You got so much shit going on and you do this and you do that. You're doing this and, man, by the grace of God, brother, by the grace of God. Appreciate that, Damon. Salute to you. Make them work together. That'll be something new. Like just trying to go without a president. Let's try that shit somebody said earlier. Let's try to run America without somebody running America. Let's just let everybody run themselves. For sure. Appreciate that, Chris. Oh, you did, huh? That's what's up, Sam. That's what's up, my brother. But yeah, anyways, folks, I'm going to get my ass up out of here. Appreciate everybody that was sitting up here chilling with me while we was dealing with this, watching this, whatever the hell we want to call it. Oh, well, yeah, for sure. I think I saw he was live doing something like that, so I didn't get to catch it though. But yeah, folks, I am out of here. Hope y'all enjoy y'all mother loving nights. Till next time. Peace.